Hey there, hope you're having an amazing day today, whatever it is that you're doing. Amazing week, amazing month, all that good stuff. Today, I'm going to talk and go into depth about dreams. And then I'm also going to talk about visions because visions are completely different than your dream state. I had a person on my TikTok channel, Doc, thank you. I want to say a thank you here and I will say a thank you there for asking me this question, which was, are your dreams a part of or locked into the simulation here? Now, the answer is yes and no. Just like anything and everything, there's going to be multiple answers. Why? Because there's multiple answers. It's that clear. There is no black or right, black or white. Look at that, right or wrong. There is this or that. No, it's and this. It is this and that. So I'm gonna go into that a little deeper. But first, let me talk about the dreams here in this simulation. When I was able to come out of the simulation and view it from a higher perspective outside of it, my greater self, my bigger self, showed me the inner workings of this particular matrix, of this particular simulation. And I use this as an example because you're like a bug in a jar or a sprinkle in a jar. And in this jar, which is the simulation, life is going on. Every thought, every word, every action, just like right now, everything that I am doing is being recorded and put into the matrix as a memory, as a thought, as a belief, as a part of this inner working of this simulation. Now, you are stuck in a dream state that has been hacked by a virus, which is why the 144,000, which are the original souls that created the universe that's bigger than this simulation, are all here because they all got together and were like, hey, there's something wrong with this particular simulation. Something's not right. So we are going to put our asses into bodies and we are going to be born here into the worst case scenarios, the most injustice, abusive cases. We wanted to know what went wrong. What happened here? Where did this simulation go from heaven, go from Adam and Eve in heaven, where everything's in harmony, bliss, and flow, to what you have today, which is corruption, distortion, evil, killing, raping, lying, cheating, stealing, the lowest of the lows. So, why did you come here if you're one of the ones like me and you started from the bottom? And by the way, Drake, not your song, but whatever. You literally started from the bottom. So that you in the worst case scenarios, the worst families, and if you had the thought like, oh, fuck dropped me off here. And these crazy people, I remember looking around when I was a little kid going, what kind of shit show is this? And I remember that from a very young age. But it was done on purpose because I wanted to know what was going on here. And then once I started to remember who I was, I started to see things for what they are. I started to understand what was happening. Then I started to change it. Not just from within this, but not on the physical level, but on the metaphysical level, which is where it was beginning, where it was the inner workings of it were actually going on. So that is, if you're one of those and you've gone through these experiences, that's why. You didn't come here to be a bystander and look at corruption and go, oh, well, at least it's not me. No, you put your ass in the corruption, in the dream, in this dysfunction, so you can understand why. Why do these narcissists do these things? Why do they bully? Why do they berate? Why do they belittle? Why do they attack? Why do they do all of this stuff? Because I want to know, Why? Because I'm going to fix it. That's why you came here. So yes, you are stuck in a pod like the Matrix, like a baby in the womb, dreaming. This is a dream. Life is but a dream. The song was created for a reason. Problem is your dream state has been hacked by one entity that decided, you know what? Fuck God. I'm going to be God in this particular simulation. Now, God is way outside of this simulation in the big universe. God is the God that you know and hear, that you think's God, that you think's benevolent and kind and loving and has your best interest. And some of you that have gone through near-death experiences and you've experienced this God, that's not real God. God is just neutral. God doesn't speak. You know. It's clear. But this is the simulation, one of the simulations that went awry, which is why we're all here. Because you all are locked into a false dream, a false matrix, a false God that you believe and you worship and you send energy to. And it's narcissistic, it's egoic, it's evil. And it will do anything to maintain and keep you in that dream state. Anything. That's why you fight each other. That's why there's division. That's why there's separation. That's why there's hatred. That's why there's win at all costs. That's why let's beat our children. Let's rape our children. Let's manipulate our children. And let's start them at a young age in the dream state, in nightmares. Let's put them in fear. And then it starts from there. It continues from there. And then you get into your older ages where you're like, is this real? Is this really how I want to live my life? Like, this is gross. Why did all of that have to happen to me? But in your dream state, here is what these entities will do. And let me know if this sounds familiar. Have you ever woken up from a dream and you're like, wow, that was super confusing. Like, I don't even know those entities or beings. I don't know where I was. I don't know where I was doing. I feel discombobulated. What was that? You ever woken up in that state? That's because you were hacked in your dream and you were sent into different aspects or different points on the matrix, the web, and confusion was created. So therefore, you go through your day feeling confused, feeling discombobulated, because these entities attack you in your most vulnerable state, which is your dream state, your imagination, your creation. Yep. And they will manipulate your frequency. They will manipulate your emotions. They will create that state within you because you are not aware or awake or in control of your dream state. The second thing that they will do, and I'm going to use some examples so that you can come out of these because you need to get in control of your dream state. Your dream state is also known as your subconscious. So let's talk about the subconscious in your dream state because the subconscious is the matrix within the simulation. The subconscious is all of the memories. So every moment in time, a Polaroid is being taken of everything you're thinking, everything you're doing, everything you're saying, every emotion, every thought, every feeling, all of it is being recorded. Some people call it the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records are just a filing system within this matrix. You have access to all of that. You can go back into time and live any existence. You can go forward into time. Because there's no time. Time in itself is a law that was created for this simulation, which is an illusion and it's a lie. Now, in your dream state, like I said, it's your most vulnerable state. If you don't have control of your subconscious, if you don't have control of your dream state, you're not controlling your reality. Something else is. I have a couple of different ways that I look at the dream state. For me, I call these my working dreams, which I'm working all the time. I'm never truly sleeping, and I know it, and I'm consciously aware of it. But I will be communicating with someone. Sometimes it's high level people here, or beings outside of this simulation in other simulations. Yes, that is possible if you're one of the entities that was not reincarnated into this simulation. Now, I am consciously aware that I am having a conversation. I am working with this individual or these individuals because we're doing work. We have things to do. So for all of the entities that are out there messing with people's dreams and putting them in fear and locking them into certain beliefs, certain ideas, certain thoughts, creating blockages, creating stoppages, redirecting people, creating confusion, creating dysfunction, and also manipulating the reality. There's also the other side of that. There are entities like myself who have control of their dream state, who are helping other beings break free from this. To say, this is meditation. Meditation is getting yourself into the depths of the subconscious, the depths of the matrix, the depths of the dream set, all the way to the beginning point where you are that little baby, that little being in energy form in that pod, but you're connected to the matrix, the bigger system. That's the truth. If you can get back to that point, just like in the matrix, and you can take control of that like they did in the matrix, they unplugged from the system. Some people can do that. Some people cannot. If you cannot unplug from the system, what we need to do and what we are working on behind the scenes is we are disempowering the energy, the entities that are currently controlling the system because they're a virus. They're a narcissist. They're evil. And they siphon powers and abilities in your dream state from you so that they can empower themselves. And then they create systems out here that keep you trapped. So not only are you trapped in your dream state, which is the beginning state anyway, but you're also trapped out here in this reality. Now, some of the other dreams, and when you know you're starting to get in control of your subconscious in your dream state, you're going to start seeing a couple of weird or interesting things. Here's some things that I have experienced. Now, these are my experiences. You all have your different experiences. I am not going to label them, and I am not going to call them something, because then that just limited that experience and limited me to that experience. No, I had that experience, but I now have a different experience. I have a different experience. I have a different experience because I want to experience everything. I want to know as much as I possibly can. Here's a couple of things that I noticed when I was starting to get in control of my dream state, of my subconscious. Here in the physical reality, I have seen tears in the illusion where the sky opened up. I have seen birds stop in mid-flight and go backwards. I have seen it look like the Truman Show where there were panels that I would poke and they would dissolve. I start seeing people stop in mid-sentence because they don't know what they're saying or where they are anymore. I've been able to stop time, fast forward time, rewind time. This is a dream or a movie. And I'm starting to see that and understand that in the physical reality because I have gone and reclaimed my dream state from this devil energy, this demiurge, this demigod, and all of the other entities that have aligned with this entity to manufacture this false reality, to control you at every level and every state, starting with your dream state. And I came to face with this entity on many occasions, but just recently, because I wanted to make sure that I was in total control of my dream state. So I went searching for any space or any areas within me that were not. Two significant things happened to me. The first one was I'm in this dream, I'm active, I feel everything, I see everything. It's just like reality right here. And I'm in this shopping mall. There's windows in front of me. I'm looking out into a parking lot. There's a gang of people, and they are killing my daughter. I run out the door, and I can feel all of a sudden this intense anger. My body's shaking. I'm pissed. I'm about to kill all these people. But then I'm like, I stop myself in the dream, and I'm like, wait a minute. Something was zapping me with energy to put me into that unstable energy to get me to react. Because if I react, then I'm supplying that energy. It's trying to siphon from me. This is like dealing with a narcissist in the physical. You're going to deal with these narcissists. This is spiritual warfare. You're going to deal with them in the dream state as well. Better get used to it. Either fight this battle or you don't. And it's a battle for your freedom to create, to exist. Sorry, I had to get my food out of the cooker. I'm not really sure where I left off. I think it was in regards to, you are in a fight, a battle, a war that wasn't even started by you for your freedom. You think you're just your freedom here in the physical. Oh, no. It's your freedom at every single level within the system. Do you like being controlled by something else? Because you are. You completely are. Have you ever had random negative thoughts come in? Not yours. You think the ego's yours in a mirror? Nope. It's something else that's mirroring you to create the illusion that you're the problem. That's part of this dream state illusion. The entities are not going to stop. You have to be the one to stop them. So in this dream that I had, I realized that I was like, wait a minute, this isn't real. It's kind of like being in, what's that? Divergent, where she's like, wait a minute, this isn't real. And she hit the glass and it shattered. That's exactly what I went through. I was like, this isn't real. And once I realized that, I turned and I looked and I saw the devil. Looked right at him. And he sent an energy to me to disrupt my frequency, to put me in a state of anger and rage so that I'll do something. And then once I did that, once I stopped that energy, I sent it back. I disempowered him, because once I realized what he was doing, that's the same thing you'll go through here. Once you realize what these people are doing, you cannot react emotionally. You cannot react at all. Once you do that, you just fed into them. This is happening at your dream state too, and in the physical. You have to find other ways to win this war. It's not your war. You didn't start it, but you're involved now because you've become complacent at some level to allow this to continue happening. Now, what happened in that dream, once I realized what was going on and I dissipated the energy, everything was crystal clear. I saw where my daughter was. I went and got her, and then I administered karma immediately to every single energy that participated in that act. Because let me tell you something. What happens in the dream states, in the metaphysical, is more real and more valid than here. It starts there. It starts in your imagination. It's just as real, if not more real, than here. But this is a dream as well. This is all just particles. It's electrons, protons, and neutrons. It's subatomic particles. Everything, even yourself. Even science has proved that. But if you don't win the battles in your dreams, you won't win the battles here. And the other dream that I had recently, yet again, facing the devil eye to eye. And the devil attacking me, physically attacking me with its arms, with attacks. It was like martial arts. But this time it was different. Very much like the Matrix, where for every 5 punches he threw at me, I threw 1. And I just moved with fluidity. And I looked him in the eyes and said, you have no power over me. You're nothing. You're nothing compared to me. You don't control shit in my reality at any level. Done. That was a key pivotal moment in my life because I just reclaimed 100% who I am from this devil energy that attacked me at my most vulnerable state as a very tiny, tiny baby that came here and had a dream, a lot of dreams, a lot of desires, a lot of visions, and all of those were stolen from me and given and siphoned and given to others. Same with you. Songs that I wrote, music that I created, dances that I created, art that I created, businesses, inventions that I created. That's what happens here. And that's why a select few individuals, entities run this simulation, because they have hacked into and hacked into the system. They hacked into this simulation. They overrode the 2 entities that created it, also known as Adam and Eve in heaven. Why do you think that they got kicked out of heaven? They didn't get kicked out of heaven. How do you get kicked out of heaven? This isn't heaven. This is a simulation. They created it together. What happened was a virus from another simulation, also known as a alien, came in and started whispering in their ear. See if that sounds familiar. Doubt, fear, and it corrupted their systems. And Adam and Eve split ways. These 2 entities that are outside, 2 souls. These are actual part of the 144,000 souls. These are the 2 main ones that I've talked about for years that created the universe and that are part of and create every single simulation. But in this one, the virus took over. Where did the virus come from? Some evil snakes just out of nowhere pops up? No. Well, sort of. And then it overtook both of them and corrupted both of them, created toxicity, created negativity, created division, and then the 2 original creators of this particular simulation went separate ways. Now, was that done by design? Probably, because these entities are so big. When I was shown this, Rebecca, the girl you see right here, I literally was a sprinkle compared to her. She was holding this simulation in her hand like I'm holding it now. She is this big compared to a dot. My mind could not comprehend. It was very difficult because I was viewing this simulation from her eyes and her point of view. And I was like, shit, I'm tiny. I'm really tiny. And this was a clear vision. There's a difference between being in a dream and being a vision. This is an awareness. This is like, I know this. I remember this. This is true. Or when I have working dreams where I am communicating and working with people, and I know I am. And I'm going into other simulations and I'm working with other entities, and I know I am. That's a big difference between being in this dream state, in this simulation, which is chaotic, dysfunctional, weird, doesn't make sense. Why did that happen? Or you see ancestors or deities or angels or guides. Those things are part of this. They're not part of the big. If you're having visions, clear visions, it's a knowing. Then you are outside of this system. You're in it at the same time, though. Just saying. So, to break it down, if you want to gain full control over your dream state, if you can handle it, you are going to have to command your consciousness. You're going to have to sit in meditation. I would recommend that you sit up straight so you don't fall asleep, because you're going to have to go into the dream state awake and aware. And you're going to have to see and be open to seeing the truth of the energies and the entities. And then you're going to have to make sure that you do not get sidetracked. You don't get pulled into the distortion or the, oh, look over here, or love or empathy. These energies will pull you into other areas to distract you. These are distraction energies. They're put into the dream state, into the matrix on purpose to keep you from getting back to that little baby, that little tiny you that is trapped in that little bubble. They don't want you to break free. And they're tied into or plugged into your chakras, which means you're going to have to go into that. You're going to have to heal and clear it out. You're going to have to remain completely focused and conscious and aware of what's going on, not get distracted. And you have to reclaim yourself. You have to reclaim all of yourself. This is not an easy task. And 99.9% of people are not going to be able to do it. There's going to be a very select few people that are actually going to break free from this. Very select few. Because this takes a lot of work. A lot of work. And most people aren't willing to do that. But if you are, that's what you got to do. That's part of it. It's not easy. Because when you're sitting in that state, your body feels weird. You feel weird energies. You feel weird emotions. You feel weird states, or you feel pain. But it's all in a part of the illusion. And you got to learn to go through it. You got to learn to expand yourself greater and go around it. Because the devil and the devil energies are not going to stop. Because they do not want to let go of power. And you're their source. So there you go. There's a detailed, I hope that was helpful, explanation of dreams. If you have any questions, let me know. If you need help breaking free from something, I'm happy to help. I am super intuitive. I've been doing this literally my whole life. I remember a lot of things from my early childhood and beyond. And I can see people on an energetic level, and I can see exactly what's going on in your reality and provide some guidance or help if you so wish. But understand, this is a you path. You are the only one that can truly walk this path. I can walk beside you and help you and guide you, but I will not do the work for you, and no one should. Don't ever, ever, ever give away your power to someone else who says that they can help you, especially a hypnotist. Because anyone that says that they can hack into your mind, into your dream state, into your subconscious and make changes for you, I'd say that they're probably part of the problem in the first place. But I'm just saying. All right, have a great day. Bye.